I think I got it. I think I got it. What about now? What about now? That's got to do it. I think that's got to do it. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. Miss Corey, thank you for replying in the chat. Tons of kids flying around the house. This is going to be an awesome day. I'm not going to – it is my goal. This is a 3-hour PD, but my goal today is to get you guys acclimated with all the Google stuff, to get things rolling. You'll sign the Plus Delta sign-in sheet, and then you will get into Google and start playing around with stuff. So I've built in time in this to let you guys get going. Thank you guys for putting up with me not actually – I hit the preview button, but I didn't hit the live button, so I could see what was going on and you guys couldn't. But we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll pull up a little bit of the presentation here. My name's Nathan. You guys know me. This is usually I have to do, since I'm a Google trainer, I have to do 12 of these a year. But I would rather do them with folks around in Perry County school system and Perry Central. And Bub's going wild here. Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
We're going upstairs.
Say hi.
Escape clause taking down the gate. Come on, Bubba.
Okay, go with Mom. But anyway, so here we go. If you look on, I'm a level 1 and level 2 certified teacher. You guys can be, you guys can do that too. Really, it's not that. I didn't find it that hard, and especially since you guys are getting into, Google Classroom and G Suite a lot more now that we have to since we're online. It's something really awesome to do. Something really awesome, something you're going to be acclimated with. Level 1 teachers, level 1 is like the basics. Level 2, I found it about just as challenging, but it's just tools that you don't use as much. And trainer, I just had to upload some training material to do that. We've got several people in our building that are also Google certified educators. I think Kim Campbell, Mr. Taylor, my wife, and man, my internet's being slow. There's not many trainers around. There's a guy in Jackson, Ashland. I think there's a lady over in Corbin, but you got to put up with me for the training stuff. But moving on, let's talk about what a Google certified educator is. Level 1 certification is based on knowing the fundamentals of Google tools. Level 2 certification is for advanced users with requirements to implement tools on a deeper level. So you take the basics, you go a little further with that. You don't have to do these in order. You can do level 2 first if you want. And then they also have Google certified trainers, which are people that have went through at least level 2 and submitted some ideas for how you would do trainings and different things you could do. And finally, Google certified innovators. And those are people who go above and beyond, and they use tools outside of the classroom. They do a lot of really crazy stuff. I think Mike Smith was telling me there was a Google innovator that charges like $1,000 a lesson because of the wild stuff they do. I may try for that sometime. I don't know. Who knows if I've got what it takes. But this is just about you guys getting acclimated with Google Level 1 stuff. We're going to take a look at some resources for that. Well, before we go there, let's talk about why you'd want to do it. Number 1 is to gain more confidence with virtual instruction. This is a time when a lot of teachers who, didn't really fool with Google, they kind of got forced into it. You might not be confident with it at this point. You may be starting to feel it, but maybe you're not there yet. You're still kind of feeling the ropes out. If you go into this and you do the trainings, or if you maybe just take the test. I actually learned a lot just by taking the test. There was some stuff that I didn't know how to do, but when it asked me to do it, I got in and Googled it and kind of filled it out, and I learned some pretty cool stuff. Find ways to be more efficient with your time. It's especially, we're going pretty soon we're going to have all our classes every day, and then Mondays we're going to have to really nail down the NTI stuff. If you really know your way around and you know some ways to save yourself time, this is going to help us out. Join a network of innovative educators. There are groups you can join on Facebook, groups you can join on Google. There's a Google Groups thing that I learned about through the Google training program, and it's really cool. It's really cool. A lot of guys in there bouncing ideas off of each other. So that's something to kind of look at. You can easily integrate the state's new technology standards. Some folks may not know. I hope you do, but there are a new list of technology standards we're supposed to be teaching all through school, and especially in high school. Using this stuff is an easy way to integrate a lot of that stuff because they have to get hands on with the technology. Step out and learn new things. Like I've said, just taking the level 1 and 2 test, I learned a few things, and once I learned them, I repeated those and kept using them, and now I'm pretty competent with them. Beef up your resume with a highly valued certification. If you ever want to maybe get a job, maybe with the state, maybe you want to work with the Board of Education somewhere. This is or if you move and you're trying to find a job in a new place, this would be on your resume, and it's a highly valued certification right now. It's also affordable, just $10 for the level 1 certification, $25 for level 2. And that's, for a work certification, that's pretty cheap. I did learn some new, some cool new tricks for your kids. Become a leader in your school. Be one of the folks that people come to and help with, and ask for help and get some ideas from. And just set a goal for yourself and crush it. I find that's something that's really helpful with anything you're trying to do. Just set goals and try to attain them. So right now, this is a technology integration model. If you look at substitution and augmentation, that is kind of probably where a lot of us are at right now. And when we're taking tech and substituting it, because we've already got all these worksheets, and let's say, well, let's make Google Forms out of them because we can't do them by hand. But you're not really changing a lot. But then as you go along, you get to augmentation, and you can actually improve function. You can change the ways maybe you do modifications for students with IEPs. And I've used my tests to read themselves to kids. You don't have to use readers if that's an IEP. Then you get to modification and redefinition. That's where you get into the level 2 stuff. And if we push forward, I think that's where we'll find ourselves as a school. And here we go. These are the resources. And at the end of this, and if I had the link to it, the link will pop up later, and I'll make sure to put it in the chat. Save it, because I have a list of all this stuff. You guys can keep it and look. If you want to get the certification, go for it. If you want to just use it to better yourself as a teacher, do that. This is the official Google resources. So this is the level 1 stuff. Let's make me sign in. These are kind of long. Takes a little bit of time, but if you go through all of these, and it's mostly text-based stuff. This one, how technology can benefit teaching and learning. This is really basic stuff. Just how to do it, but let's see. You click one of these, and they'll tell you what, and it'll tell you what to do, and you just go through each and every one of them. Once you get through that, you can go to level 2. These are kind of cool in the sense that it tells you everything on the test, but if you really want one-on-one learning, or if you'd rather have videos, something to help you with, uh, the Google stuff is kind of tough to deal with sometimes. They're pretty lengthy to go over everything in detail. Level 1 alone, it's like 11 hours and 45 minutes is what it's estimated at if you went straight through it. If you aren't interested in taking the test soon, maybe you could go through one of them every couple of days, and you'd be ready to take the test in about a month or so. I know several teachers. Jim Taylor told me that I know at least he said he took level 1 without any prep whatsoever and passed. And I kind of got frustrated with it too, and told myself, well, you know what? This is taking a while. I'm just going to take it's just $10. I'm going to take that level 1 test and see what happens. And I passed it. And then I went ahead and did the next one too, and with no prep. But I had to learn, and I was comfortable with the tools first, and that was the big important thing for me. Now, for third-party resources, this is where we get some pretty good stuff that I like to look at. Shake Up Learning with Casey Bell. She's got tons of stuff, and this is something that's in this Google Drive I'm going to share with you guys at the end. Complete guide to it. Tons of stuff, tons of ideas, and this is just her. This is just the PDF that she's got that talks about it. If you go a little further, they have a toolkit, and you can register for a webinar. Basically, they're just wanting your email. That's really all they want. They want your email to get you on a mailing list. But you can watch that on-demand webinar. They've got this. This is the thing I just showed you, the ebook. They've got a capacity matrix, and what that is it goes through each and every, and I'll pop myself up back here for a second. It'll go through, like, each line on this matrix will tell you something that you need to know for the test, and you can go through it and see how comfortable you are with it. And depending on how comfortable you are with all of it, you can judge whether or not you think you're ready to pass the test. But once again, and then there's this how to pass the exams, another free download. They just want your name and email address for the toolkit. They have tons of blog posts and stuff like that. Shake Up Learning is a really good place to look at. They've got podcasts for just general stuff, but tons of Google stuff. And I can't even begin to go through all of it. But if you're just looking to maybe find some stuff to help you, that is where I would start. I wouldn't even start with the Google stuff. I would start with Shake Up Learning. Skills checklist. This was made by another Google trainer, and he updates this constantly. He goes and takes the test and updates it with all the things that you need. And level 1, Educator. Tech integration is just using tech in the classroom, but G Suite, Google Drive, documents, sheets, forms, slides, classroom, Gmail, contacts, Google Groups, and chat were a couple of things that I really didn't fool with until I took the test. Google Meet, calendar, tasks is something. Google Keep I've not fooled a lot with. Sites, Chrome. This is a lot of stuff that you guys have already worked with, and he's got a checklist that you just go down and mark off when you can do these things, like Google Docs. Can you create a document? Can you share a document? Can you collaborate? And that's basically, giving kids documents and telling them to do, giving a group of kids the same document, giving them different jobs on that. Provide feedback using comments. Comment button up here. That stuff, let's say this is a kid, you got a kid that turned in this assignment, you want to give them a note. It's kind of like the track changes and notes things in Microsoft Word. But once you go down and you can do all of that stuff, you're theoretically ready to take the test. Google Forms, slides, classroom, all of this stuff. Once you get all the way through it, you're ready to take the test. He's also got one of those for level 2, which this is some stuff that's a little more It takes some stuff we already talked about, gets a little further with them, but then you've also got things like Blogger and Science Journal and Google Drawings, Google Maps, Google Scholar. Something I just found out about. If you've not got on Google Scholar yet, and you're still in college, give that a shot because it's basically an option, a Google tool that lets you, look up. Let's say career and technical education, and it'll give you scholarly articles that you can use for research projects. Stuff that we used to have to go through these really old antiquated systems when I was in college to deal with. And Google Scholar really, it's a really cool tool. But something I wouldn't have learned about if I hadn't have fooled with the Google certification trainings. And I'll take my ugly mug off here once again. That's all for the resources. I will give you a link to all those at the end. And let's go ahead and take a look at level 1 test prep. This is stuff that is what the questions will look like. This is what you should know going into it, and we're going to look at some sample questions. I'm going to work them out because the way that we do the Google certification training is kind of interesting. And I'll pop myself back up once again because you're not actually there is some multiple choice question and answer stuff, but they give you your own Google Google account. You get it to use the test, and it's got stuff already in it, and you're supposed to. It's basically like going to work for the day, and they'll give you tools. They'll give you tasks to do, like, hey, we've got this assignment that you assigned last week in a Google Doc. Can you pop that up and send it to this student and remind them to do this? Oh, you've got a parent that wants to talk about a grade. Can you get in the Google Calendar and set up a Google Meet with them? There's a lot. It's really cool. It's got a lot of stuff that is it's very relevant to what we're doing every day. And back to it. Things you must have a webcam enabled. They will. I guess it's to make sure that you're the one taking your test. So when you sit down, it'll pop up the webcam, and just like me down here, you'll be in the corner, down here in the corner for the entire time of the test. But it takes a picture at the start to make sure that you are you, and you have to stay there in front of that computer for the entire time. So don't get freaked out by that, but you need to be prepared to take the test that you've got a webcam in front of you. Use a special login credit for you. Talked about that a little bit. They'll email that to you. May take after you request it, after you schedule your test, you can take it anywhere as long as you got a webcam, but it may take them up to 24 hours to send you all the stuff and get your Google login ready. So if you think, I've got a couple hours to spare, I'm going to try to take this test real quick. You need to plan ahead because they will take a little bit of time. For me, it just took like an hour or so. It didn't take a long time at all. And I don't think it took Tiffany very long for hers either, but it may take up to 24 hours. So just be prepared for that. I wouldn't think it would take that long, but that's what they say. So every once in a while it might happen. Once you get it, you've got 7 days before that expires. So if you request it, they get it to you in a day or so, and you need to take that within a week, or it's going to expire. And I don't even know. I don't know if they refund you if something happens or what. But I would, if I were you, I would, if you're planning to take it on a Saturday or something over the weekend, I'd request it on a Thursday or a Friday. That way you're ready to go the next day. The certification is valid for up to 3 years, and after 3 years, you'll have to take the test again or recertify if that expires. But 3 years is about par for the course for most professional certifications. do not have to complete level 1 to take level 2. You can do them in any order you want. You do need to take level 2 to be a trainer or an innovator. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the questions. This is multiple choice. Notice you'll see this a lot on the test. It'll say choose 2 answers. It'll tell you exactly how many you need to pick. Sometimes it'll say choose all that apply, but this is just a sample question. And a lot of the questions are kind of common sense for us teachers. Objective: use technology to move beyond textbook-based instruction. Students in your history class are having difficulty understanding the significance of World War II. What activities could help students get more engaged? So what we're looking for here is 2 of these that are engaging. Students create YouTube videos describing key battles in World War II. That sounds pretty darn engaging to me. I would pick that one. Teacher creates a final exam and forms to give students a grade on what they know. I don't know very many students that get engaged by taking a test. I wouldn't pick that. Students use the research tool to search for more information in docs. That sounds pretty cool. They use research in their stuff to find out more interesting information. That could be one. And finally, the last one is students answer questions at the end of the chapter on World War II. Sounds pretty boring. So if it were me, and I think this is the right answer, students create YouTube videos and students use the research tool. As teachers, that's something that's seems pretty similar to what we try to do on a regular basis to keep kids engaged. So if you're a teacher, this is stuff that should stick out to you already. This one, what is an example of asynchronous discussion? Asynchronous means a few things going on at the same time, or they're not going on at the same time. So a chat room where all students are online and participating at the same time, that is synchronous discussion. Video Google Hangout where students participate in a live video meeting. Once again, that is synchronous. A Google Group web forum where students participate at various times throughout the day. That sounds like a winner to me. And then finally, an online chat room used for students to ask questions about their homework during a specific time. So the web forum where students participate at various times throughout the day. Asynchronous, that seems to be the the name of the game for us here recently. I had kids turn in work at 3 a.m. this morning. I know that's not any type of surprise for you guys. Here's another sample test question, which is the following can help improve the success of a collaborative learning experience. You'll see a lot of these select all, which apply. I've only taken level 1 and level 2 once, but usually when it says select all, which apply, you're going to select just about all of them, and if not all. And the ones that you aren't going to switch, they don't really try to freak you out with this stuff. They don't try to hit you with anything that's a trick question or something. They're pretty straightforward. So setting clear expectations, that sounds good. Aligning to learning goals, of course, that's good. Ensuring everyone the opportunity to participate and choosing the best digital tool for the job. You would just select all of those. You get a lot of that. A lot of these questions are pretty easy. Then you got these drag and drop ones, which this is a screenshot, and they have a really bad benefit here. But you have there's a lot of questions where you'll drag something from this row and pull it over into this row to match things up, or it'll say maybe choose the answers that are right and drag them over here. So be ready for that. And here's where it gets wild. The biggest chunk and absolutely the most time-consuming chunk of this stuff is the tasks, not the questions, the tasks. And they can, if you're not ready for them, or if you don't know how to fake your way through them, it can be tough. But let's take a look at this one. Your students have answered a few questions about an upcoming presidential election and submitted their results in a Google form. You want to review their opinions to prepare for an upcoming class. So this is one of those things. It gives you a scenario, and it tells you this is something that we would do on a daily basis. Access the form election opinions and view the results in a spreadsheet. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up Google Forms, and I've made a practice one of these for us. So here's all my stuff. Election options. It says election opinions. I named it wrong, but either way, access the form election opinions and view the results in a spreadsheet. So you pull up. This is just like anything else you do. So we pull up the responses, and this little green button up here is create spreadsheet. So that would be the first thing. The first thing we did in the task. Next, sort the sheet based on the student first name in ascending alphabetical order. This is the stuff where you really need to be comfortable with stuff to figure out. This is where it starts. You start thinking, okay, there we go. And I had some friends jump in and do this. I appreciate whoever put their name in as Bend Over. That's hilarious. But anyway, to sort stuff by, it says sort stuff by first name A to Z. I click the little thing up here that selects everything. Go to data and hit create filters. And now you can go to each one of these and select it to sort A to Z. And there you go. So that was the second thing. Sort A to Z. And create a pie chart that represents who they selected as their as who they're voting for or whatever. Now, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to show you guys the beautiful glory of taking a test on Google is that you've got Google at your fingertips. So if you don't know how to do that, you can literally, and this is how I did a lot of these questions was create a pie chart in Google Sheets, and you can just go through here, go through it. Select spreadsheet, double click on the chart you want to change. That's if you've already got one. So let's go ahead and pull up. You can pull up a video, and let me turn on the audio for you guys.
Chart, you'll label two columns in your Google Sheet. The first is the kind of categories you have, and the second is the number or percent that you measured for each category. Next, you'll fill in the categories in the first column and put their values in the second column. If you're writing your values in terms of percent, be sure that they add up to 100%. If you have a lot of small values that aren't important to call out specifically on your chart, you can collect all the small ones into an other category. Once your data is in the spreadsheet, you're ready to make your chart. If you want a head start on your chart, try clicking the Explore button on the lower right of the screen. If you scroll through Google's suggestions, you may see a pie chart that you'd like to use. If so, you can click and drag to add it to your sheet. Then use the three dots on the top right of the chart to customize the look and feel. Sometimes the Explore section will not have the kind of chart you want to use. In that case, you can select your data, including the labels, and go to Insert Chart. Google will guess which kind of chart you want, but you can change it in the drop-down box under Chart Type. A donut chart is the same as the pie chart.
We'll go ahead and start. I know it's crazy that I'm telling you guys to teaching you guys how to Google, but anyway. So insert the chart. Oh, come on. We'll do the Explore thing. bring that in. And that's that would be it. So I wonder why my insert chart didn't work. Okay, I guess I had to select everything, but let's go ahead and do that so everybody can see it from the start. Highlight everything, hit the insert chart button up here, and then you would select your type of pie chart. It didn't say 3D pie, it just said pie chart. So we'll just do that. You can just do that one. So there's that. But it'll ask you to do stuff like that. One big thing that it'll tell you to do a lot is it'll tell you to go to your Google Drive. It's going to tell you to find a specific file, and it's going to ask you to got a lot of stuff in here, but it's going to ask you to take that and share it with a specific person. So get really comfortable with hitting the share button. And finding someone you want to share it to. I'll just share this with Tiffany. I know I can't bother her too much. Making sure that she has either view, comment, or editor rights. It'll ask you each one of those. Send. It might ask you to be able to share the link with somebody. Something. By default, all of our stuff is shared with only people in the district. So if you ever run into that issue, hit change. Anyone with the link, and copy it. And then anytime you need to share that, you've got that link. So that's something that it'll ask you to do a lot. It will ask you to use Gmail for some things, which Kentucky has Gmail blocked. So you're probably not fooled around with that a whole lot. So that's something. If you've not got a Gmail address, sign up for one of those. That'll help you get ready for it. Let's go through some testing tips. Be prepared to sit for the full 3 hours. I'm pretty fast at taking tests. I do like to take my time sometimes if it's something kind of new. I don't think I took any less than 2 hours on either one of the tests. I think just the tediousness of having to have a scenario and work all the way through it, it's pretty rough. Not exactly hard, I guess, but it is. There's no fast way to do a lot of this stuff. You absolutely have to go step by step, one thing at a time. And sometimes, you might have to look up how to do it on Google and go from there. Next up, shut out distractions, dogs, kids, cell phones, etc. The first time that I took Google 1 and Google 2 right back to back. I took it on the recliner late one night, and I don't think I got finished until about 11:30 or so. And I thought, man, maybe I can do. Maybe I'll do level 2 like right now. And I went ahead and signed up for it, and it ended up getting me my thing back before midnight. And I decided, well, I was going to go ahead and just power through it. But I was up, till after 2 a.m. finishing that one. But I did get both of them, and I did have to Google a lot. I had to look up some stuff as I was going along. Have access to reliable internet. You only have 5 minutes to get logged back in if you get disconnected. So if something crazy happens, you know how that is. If your internet's going in and out, find a place that you can trust to get the internet. Don't take too much time on any one section. Come back to it at the end if you have time. The number one reason The number one reason people don't pass these tests are because they run out of time. That's the biggest culprit for not finishing these tests or not passing these tests is you don't finish. Making sure you're comfortable with the Google ecosystem is really important. So if you feel like now you've got to the point in working with Google Classroom and G Suite that you're just like, okay, I can do this stuff really, really fast. I know how to share stuff. I know how to create forms. I know how to create different types of questions on each form. I know how to share stuff on Google. You know how to do all that stuff. If you're really comfortable with that, I mean, you may be ready to go ahead and give it a shot right now. If not, if you're still kind of taking your time, that could be a problem with this test because it is really tough to do things in the time limit. Like I said, let Google help you. If you have time at the end, or you just absolutely no idea on how to do something, use Google support. It's there to help you whenever you need something, and if you have the time, you should use it on this exam. And this is basically a lot similar to the Google training stuff, but if it's asking you to, how to share a doc, share files from Google Drive, you can search on Google and it'll pop up and tell you. And to my knowledge, they don't discourage any of that. It literally gives you a Google login to get into, and you're supposed to do a list of things, and if you did those things right, you pass, and if you answered the questions right, you pass. But give it a shot. If you need help at any time, let Google do the work for you. And let's talk about scheduling the exam. First thing you're going to do is create an account, and that's going to be at this link right here. I've already got one, so it automatically logged me in, but it would basically be a Google sign-on right there. Let's see. My assessments. And you can see where I did mine on the same day. So there we go. Create your account. There's a link. This link, you'll have a link to this, but if you also just, Google everything, that's where I got all this stuff. It's where I screenshotted that photo from. Create account. You just do it right there. And of course, I'm already logged in. Select an exam. I don't have any exams left to take, but that's where that pops up. You just select which one you want. You have to pay for it. It's $10 for the first one, $25 for the second. We're going to look around. I'll see what I can. The technology committee, we talked, and one of the things that we mentioned was maybe if we could, if we had the money for it, to maybe invest in trying to get some teachers that wanted to get the certification, see if we can find some money for that. I can't make any promises, but I thought it's one thing that we were kicking around is to, especially level 1, it's just $10 to help teachers go for that if they went through it. Step 3, once you pay for it, you will receive an email. It says from Google for Education. It says you have 8 days to log into this exam. I guess if you don't log into the exam by a specific date, and that is universal time. So understand that is not Eastern time. That is UTC. But just plan to take it before you even get close to the end of that. And then in that email, it's going to tell you to sign out of all other Google accounts, Google applications. It says open an incognito window. That is not 100% necessary, but it is helpful because if you open an incognito window, it means you're guaranteed to not be logged into another account. And I know we've all had that issue before. You'll be logged into something, and like you'll try to log into your personal email, but the school stuff keeps popping up. If you hit this incognito window button, you're guaranteed that nothing's going to be signed in, and you'd sign in with your new account that they give you. My account that I'm showing there is probably no longer active. But it gives you, so you open up an incognito window, sign in with those credentials, and then follow the prompts, begin the exam. You'll have a handful of things ready to go, but once it starts, you got 3 hours. Make sure your webcam's ready. Don't wait too long. Expires in a week, and best of luck. Okay, I'm going to go through some of the resources in depth here in a minute, but let's go ahead and take this time. Click the sign in here. I'll pop that back up, but I'll show you guys. Oh, look at this. I'll delete this off, but stuff. This training be approved. Better trainer. Yeah, but submit it. And then once you submit that, then you will get the link to the drive with all the stuff in it. So I'll go ahead and pop that back up, and I'll put the link address in the chat. This is the plus delta and the sign-in sheet, and once you do it, the link is in the chat. Missy on Mason's computer. Just click the link, Missy. You got this. Sign in and fill out the plus delta. Once you do that, it'll give you access to all the resources that we talked about earlier. We'll go through those in a little more detail. And then I will leave you guys alone to kind of knock some of this stuff out on your own. We're about an hour into it right now, but I think this is a lot of stuff to keep you busy. I mean, like I said, the Google level 1 Google stuff, the first party resources will take 12 hours to complete on their own. This is some stuff that's a little less pretty. We went through some pretty general stuff, but there's some stuff in there that'll keep you busy for a long time. I'm going to go through some of it with you, though. I'm not done with you yet. But here's your sign in and plus delta. And I may embarrass Tiffany here real quick if I didn't delete her thing off yet. Yeah, there we go. Tiffany. She said, I had her test this out last night, and when it said, how could it be better? She said, taking off your shirt. I just broadcast that to everyone. When you see her next, when we come back on Monday, let her know. But there you go. Again, bit.ly/littlepd is the link. It's also in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and go through all this stuff. I've got this Google Educator resources that if you want to share this sheet with somebody, it's all the stuff that we've talked about, plus a little Chromebook training thing, which is official from Google. But if you've had any issues with, and man, I've wanted to throw some Chromebooks across the room for the past few days, but it's got all this stuff on setting up introduction to Chromebooks. What are Chromebooks?
This is a laptop. This is a computer. This has the web.
That's weird. Okay, so it's the web. There are no programs? So there's nothing to start up. Then how do I do stuff? There's no messy desktop? So no rolling hills of green. Can I use it anywhere?
There's enough of that. But it's you go through each one of those things, go straight down the list. It'll tell you to do everything with a Chromebook. That's really helpful for our kids right now because the Chromebooks have just been kind of hard to log into sometimes. Sometimes they get bogged down with a bunch of accounts. But there's some Chromebook stuff that's free. Just me throwing that at you. There was the complete guide to certifications. This talks about Casey Bell and her stuff. About the guide. And the Google for Education Teaching Center, that's where we were at just then. So that's where we were at just then. Where did I go? Okay. Here's some stuff about some links to the courses for each one of them. If you want to be a trainer, there's another test for that too. And the innovator, there's one for that as well. So, but all in all, here's the prices. The courses to go through, what each one of them does. Go all the way through it. She's got links to all of her stuff. Her Google certified Educator Academy is really cool. They go through it with people, and I think it's I think you do have to pay. You do have to pay for that, but it's not. I didn't do it. But if you're really interested in the certification and it's something you really want to do well on, and you're not comfortable yet, then it may be something you want to look at. Do what's best for you. I didn't fool with it, but they do have a lot of cool stuff. Even just if you just go to their website and look at stuff. And let's look at these skills checklists. And I'm going to walk through as I've got. Okay. I'm going to walk through some of this stuff. So Google Drive, I will go ahead and pull up my drive. First thing it says is creating a new file. If you don't know how to create a new file in Drive yet, hit the plus button, and there's all of it. You can create a bunch of different stuff. Most of the time, you're going to be creating a doc or a sheet of slides. And if you're a teacher, like all of us are, you make a lot of forms too. But that's how you just hit the plus button and select something. So that's how you do that. Once you get that one, go down to the next one. Accessing files. It's as simple as that. Getting blown up. To access files, organizing files in folders, and I just closed off my Google Drive like an idiot. Wanted to make a new folder. Stuff for today. I went to upload a new folder. Folder upload is if I were going to take something from my desktop or somewhere else on my computer, and I wanted to take that entire folder and upload it, you can do that. But if you want to just create a new folder, you hit the folder button. stuff for today, and then you can pull your files into it. That's how you organize stuff. Working with Office files and other non-Google files. That is an option on Google Drive. Let's say, let me pull up. Microsoft Word, which I think it's just Word now. Yeah. So let's pull that up. Save that to my desktop. Okay. And now if I wanted to upload that, I would hit File Upload on the plus sign. Go to my desktop. I think I called it test, right? Yep. Test docx. And I can upload that. And it says it's a Word file. It's got the W on it. But when you open it, you've got the option of opening it with Google Docs. And even though it's a Microsoft Word file, even though it wasn't a Google Doc originally, like magic, you can get in there and work on it. So that goes through that on the skills checklist. We just uploaded a file. Converting files. If I wanted to save this one or download it as a PDF instead of a Word file or a doc file, I could do that. And it would pop up right down here, and it would open up just like a PDF, and you can't edit it anything, or you can't do anything with it, but it is, there for good, and it opens up on just about anything. So that's how you convert files. Offline access to drive files. Download it, and I think let's head to the front here. And what do you know? But that's when we do access to drive files. Okay. Drive settings. Oh, they've changed it. Okay, here it is. Okay. Offline. There's this offline button. So that's how you do that. It used to be a right-click deal. That's why they do the recertification stuff. That's why they do the recertification stuff. I've got a lot of files. I'm not going to sync those to my home computer. Might do that at work, but it used to be right and click, make available offline. It's not there anymore. So that's why they make you recertify every 3 years, because they keep updating stuff and changing things. So I can click that one off now that I know how to do that. Let's see. Sharing non-Google files. Sharing files is a link. We talked about that. You can right-click, share, but you've also got get link. And you can copy that and give somebody edit rights or view rights. Change if you want it to be restricted to only people that have the rights to the file that you add specifically. You can select it to anybody within the district and that are added, or you can select it to anyone with the link. So there's that. Creating and managing folders. We did that, and then share a resource folder in Google Drive. Let's say that this, which is what I did with you guys today, in the, I think I called it Google stuff. My gosh, come on, Nathan. Last modified. I've shared that, but you go up here. If I wanted to do this individually, share it to Tiffany, I can do that. I give her edit rights. She'll delete my stuff. Make sure unless it asks unless you really trust somebody. If you're just wanting to let somebody look at your resources, just give them view access. Don't give them don't give them edit access unless they need to be editing things. But you can share it like that. You can get the link and email them the link or message them the link. There's different ways to do that. But we just went through everything that they would ask you to do on Google Drive in this in the level 1 certification stuff. I'm not going to go over all this stuff with all of you guys. I am going to leave you guys to be, as I see we got someone in here poking around on this skills checklist already. But I'm going to go ahead and click to copy a link to this checklist, which is already in the drive. But I'm going to put this in the YouTube chat. And you just click on it in the chat. It's going to bring up that checklist for you. Go through that checklist. Go through for each of them. Google Drive, Google Documents, Google Sheets, Google Forms, Slides, Classroom. See that you can do all of this stuff. Set up your classrooms. Add students using the class codes. Invite them with their email. Create a roster with groups and contacts. Communicating the classroom stream. Create an assignment in the classroom. Make sure you can do everything on that list, especially for Google Classroom, because we need to do as much with that as we can anyway. If you come across something you struggle with, I mean, luckily with this, like let's say, add links, just pop up Google. And then they'll have videos, or there'll be someone else there'll be someone else that's made a video about this already or wrote a blog post about it that's there to help you. Use everything at your fingertips to get this stuff knocked out. Once you get through all that, go to the next one. Gmail, of course, we do not have access to Gmail through our own stuff. But if you have your own, I don't even know if, hopefully this goes the same password. Oh no. Okay. So I never used this, but make a Gmail account and get yourself familiar with it if you've not already. That way you know what's up. Let me exit off of that. Keep going down the list. Contacts. Maybe contact. Yeah. Basically, any Google tool, if you haven't figured it out yet, is going to be the name of the tool .google.com. I don't have any contacts on my this account yet. Got a lot on my personal Gmail account, but this is Google can be a place for you to do everything as a teacher. If you get into the directory here at schools, you will have every single kid that's in this school, and probably some of them that are not there anymore. If I had to take a guess, but it's all in there, and you can, add each one of those to your contact list. You can make one for each class. You can make one for each. Make one for people that are on a committee that you're on, or whatever you want to do. You can do all that with Google Contacts, and they don't ask for a whole lot about Google Contacts. Just to create user groups. Google Groups. Go ahead and go to groups.google.com. I think I'm in 2, and I think you guys are in one of them automatically. PCC Faculty, which I think that comes with your email. And then I'm in the Google Certified Trainers group. This is what I'm talking about finding just a group of people that are really helpful and looking for stuff. I found out yesterday, where'd it go? It's probably fallen down, but I think it was StreamYard account. Sign up for a free StreamYard account for a year. That was to Google Trainers, but somebody got in there and worked out the deal, and now I can try that out if I want. But go through each and every one of these things, and if you need some help, by all means, reach out to me. I hate to put them on blast, but I know that Tiffany Lyttle, Jim Taylor, and Kim Campbell are also Google certified. So there's probably some more teachers in the building that are as well. So give them a holler if you need some help. I'm sure they wouldn't mind, but I especially don't mind. I'm a Google certified trainer, and I'm supposed to get so many of these in a year, and I'm supposed to be in a place. Part of the deal is that I offer training in my building. So if you guys need help with any of this, reach out to me. Reach out to one of our digital learning coaches. We got tons of resources at Perry Central. I think we're really lucky. But please, for now, this is the part where I leave you to your own devices. Mess around, get in this skills checklist, go through it. If you don't know how to do something, hit the Google button. Ask me. I don't mind to help one bit. But you need to know how to do a lot of this stuff to get the certification, and a lot of this stuff, if you don't go through here and you don't know how to do something, it's probably something that you could make use of at some point on down the line. So if you have to, I'll put the drive link to this folder again. I put the wrong one. Okay. Copy that in the chat. That's the Google Drive link with all the resources. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it out. It says I've been up for an hour, 15 minutes. So I'm going to leave it to you. Get in there. Get acclimated with the stuff. If you need any help, let me know. But I am at your service. If there's any questions, drop them in the chat right now. I am monitoring it over here. Not seeing anything in a little bit, but if you need anything, let me know. I'll be monitoring the chat for a little bit. I'm going to pop up the slate screen, and if you need help, I'm here. Thank you, guys.